You bought the game, $70. You beat it. And then one Tuesday, with no warning, the company flipped a switch on a server somewhere, and the game you paid for, beat, and owned was just gone. No refund, no copy, nothing. Now here's the uncomfortable part. That's not a glitch. That's the plan. And it's already happened to almost everything you think you own. Your music? You don't own it. Your movies? Rented. Your software, your photos, even the heated seats in your car. Somebody else holds the key. And the second you stop paying, it locks. This is the quietest robbery in history. Nobody kicked your door in. You handed it all over, $10 at a time, and said thank you. So let me show you exactly how they pulled it off, and the few things you can still actually keep. Picture your grandparents' house, that shelf of records, the toolbox in the garage, the furniture that outlived 3 dogs. Here's the wild part. Every bit of it was theirs. Paid once, owned forever. Done. And owning it gave them quiet superpowers they never even thought about. Hate it? Sell it. Broke? Fix. Got old? Hand it to your kid. Nobody could reach into that house and take it back. A drill from 1975 still drills. A record from 1975 still plays. They didn't pay a monthly fee to keep using their own stuff. The idea would have sounded insane. That pile of owned things was also quiet wealth, a safety net you could sell in a bad month. Now watch how somebody figured out how to take that net and rent it back to you. It started somewhere boring, software. You used to buy a program in a box, take it home, and use it forever. Then some executive had a thought that made his company billions. Why sell it once when we could rent it to them every single month for the rest of their lives for the exact same thing? Same product, same code, endless money. So the box vanished. In came the login. You don't buy the program anymore. You rent permission to open it. Miss a payment, and the thing you build your whole job around just won't open. It worked so well, it was almost evil. And the moment one industry proved people would pay forever for something they used to own outright, every other industry came sprinting. Music, movies, games, books, photos. One after another, the thing you used to own turned into a thing you rent. And most of us cheered because it felt cheap and easy. That was the trap. Start with music. Your grandparents had a wall of albums they owned. You have a wall of albums too, except the day you stop paying $10 a month, that entire wall goes dark. Every song, gone in a blink. Movies are worse. There's a button that literally says buy. You click it. You think you bought the film, but the company can quietly yank it out of your library years later. And that buy button, it never actually meant buy. Games, same trick, bigger sting. You own a library that lives on their server, not yours. They flip that server off and your shelf goes black, including the single-player games you finished and paid for in full. Even your memories. Your photos float up into the cloud, which is just a stranger's computer in a warehouse, and slowly you're paying monthly rent to look at pictures of your own kids. And here's the genius of it. None of it felt like a robbery. Each step was cheap, easy, convenient. You didn't get mugged. You handed over the keys yourself, one happy click at a time. Okay, digital stuff lives on a screen, you might think. Fine. But then the rent everything idea did something nobody saw coming. It crawled out of the screen and into solid steel sitting in your driveway. A car company actually tested charging a monthly fee to turn on heated seats. Seats already built into the car you already bought. The metal is yours. The warmth? That'll be a subscription, please. Farmers got it worse. They buy a tractor for the price of a house, then find they're not really allowed to fix it because the software inside is licensed, not owned. Your machine, their rules. Bring it to us. It's everywhere once you see it. Printers that reject cheaper ink. gadgets that mysteriously stop being supported the year a new model drops. You're holding the thing in both hands, and you're still not the one who decides if it works. For all of human history, holding something meant controlling it. That rule just quietly died, and almost nobody noticed the funeral. So why did the entire business world fall in love with this overnight? Simple. A sale ends. A subscription never does. To a company, a one-time buyer is a sugar rush. A subscription is a heartbeat. Quiet, steady money landing in their account every month, whether you use the thing or not. And their favorite customer? The one who forgot. The subscription you signed up for in 2021 and never canceled. Money slipping out of your account every month for something you haven't opened in years. Now multiply that by a few 100 million people, each leaking a couple bucks a month they've completely forgotten about. They built one of the richest machines in history out of pure forgetting. But the money? Honestly, that's not even the scariest part. Because when you only rent everything, you also hand them something far more dangerous. Watch.
Here's the thing about renting instead of owning. When you own it, you hold the key. When you rent it, they do. And the person holding the key quietly controls your whole life from a building you'll never visit. They can hike the price whenever they feel like it, and your only two choices are pay more or lose the thing you built your entire routine around. That's not a customer, that's a hostage with a credit card. They can rip out a feature you loved and hide it behind a higher tier. They can decide your version is too old and kill it. The thing in your hands just gets worse overnight, and you can't do a single thing about it. And in the worst case, they just switch it off, break a rule, miss a payment, or simply land on the wrong side of some policy, and the thing you depend on goes dark from 1,000 miles away. That's the real price of renting your life. It wasn't ever about the $10. It's that you slowly handed the off switch to your own world to people you will never meet. So how did we not feel this happening? Because it was built to be invisible. No single subscription ever feels like a real decision. $10 here, 15 there, each one too tiny to even argue about. It's just a coffee a month. But they don't come one at a time. They stack. Streaming, music, storage, the app you tried once, the gym you haven't seen since January, 1,000 paper cuts you signed up for yourself. And surveys keep finding the same embarrassing thing. Most people guess they spend way less on subscriptions than they actually do, and almost everyone is paying for at least one they totally forgot exists. And just try to leave. Signing up is one cheerful top. Canceling is a maze. Buried menus, a phone call, a guilt trip. Are you sure? Ask 3 times like you're breaking up with it. So the money keeps leaking. The forgetting keeps paying. And here's the quietly tragic part. There's a whole generation growing up that has never owned anything and doesn't even know it's strange. Remember that famous line everyone fought about? You'll own nothing and you'll be happy? People screamed about whether it was a plan or a prediction. But quietly, while everyone argued, the owning nothing part just came true. Look at a young person's life right now. They rent the apartment, they finance the car, they subscribe to the music, the shows, the software, even the tools they need to do their job. Not one of it is theirs. And at the end of 40 years of payments, nothing to sell, nothing to fix up, nothing to hand the kids. The shelf you're supposed to leave behind is empty. For thousands of years, regular people slowly built a little stock of owned things and passed it down. That ladder, the one your family climbed for generations, is being quietly pulled up, one subscription at a time. And nobody had to twirl a mustache to do it. It's just that renting you everything forever turned out to be the most profitable idea anyone ever had. Which leaves one question that should genuinely bother you. What is all this costing you? Let's actually total it. The streaming, the music, the cloud storage, the software, the little app fees. For a lot of people, it quietly sails past $1,000 a year on stuff they own 0% of. Now stretch that across a lifetime. 1,000 or 2 a year for 40, 50 years. That's the price of a house, poured out for things that all vanish the second you stop paying. Same money the old way, you'd be sitting on a shelf of real things, stuff that holds value, stuff you could sell in a tight month, stuff that was actually legally yours.
So that's the true bill, not $10 a month, a lifetime of payments quietly building somebody else's fortune and leaving you with a stack of logins that die the day you do. Sounds hopeless, I know. It's not, because the second you can see the strings, you get to choose which ones to cut. So here's exactly what you can still own, starting today. First, relax. You can't quit all of it, and you shouldn't. Some subscriptions genuinely pull their weight. The goal isn't zero. The goal is to actually know which strings you've agreed to instead of sleepwalking. So once a year, go hunting. Pull up the statement. Kill the ones you forgot, the ones you never use, the ones that quietly crept up in price hoping you wouldn't look. That one habit saves most people more than a raise. Where it makes sense, own, don't rent. Buy the thing you'll lean on for years. Pick tools and files you keep even if the company vanishes tomorrow. Own the stuff that lasts. Rent only what's genuinely temporary. And never forget the lesson under this entire series. The rich don't rent their lives, they own. They hold assets that pay them, while everyone else pays monthly for things that quietly own them right back. You'll never own everything, that's fine. Just stop renting your whole life on autopilot and start deliberately owning even a few things that are truly, permanently, no off switch yours. So why will you never own anything again? Because somewhere along the line, pay once and keep it forever quietly flipped into pay forever and keep nothing, and they pulled off the swap without a single one of us voting on it. We've chased the money from the bank, to the printer, to the death of the dollar, to the treadmill, to the three hands that own the world, and now to the quiet end of owning anything at all. But there's one last thing they haven't finished renting back to you. Your actual money. A new kind of cash is coming, money that can be watched, limited, and switched off from a distance. And the off switch won't be in your hand. That's next. If you want to keep seeing the strings most people walk right past, subscribe. And let's keep pulling this curtain all the way back.